Life with Atlanta Tech was that I went to school over there on what I said earlier, on the senior program, and it inspired me because I knew I loved to play with cars, and so I did very well in that arena with the Atlanta Tech. And actually they asked me to teach when I got through, and I says, no, I don't think teaching is for me. And very shortly after that I got married, and then shortly after that I built a house, and then shortly after that I bought the shop and have been there ever since. And in 1992 I decided to run for public office and won. The garage that I bought was a friend of my father's. He did work for my father. Okay. And he went to this fellow and says, how about hiring my son? And he says to my father, says, I'm not hiring any young folks. They don't ever do what they're supposed to do. So my daddy said to him, says, well, how about letting him come down here and hang out and I'll pay you? And so Red says, well, I guess that's okay. And so my daddy used to come by there every Friday and ask Red, says, well, what I owe you? Oh, the boy's done a real good job. He always paid me. And that's kind of how that blossomed. And I worked for him for about 8 years till when I bought the facility in 1977 at age 22. There are real careers that come from going to school, learning a trade, and putting that trait to use. It's not always easy, but everything we do in life is about consistency and continuing to work to gain great successes. And I'm very, very fortunate in that world. It is about building bridges, and you build a little bit of it every day of your life. And I think that so many of us think that we're going to build it in a few minutes, or a few weeks, or a few months. You know, and it's not. It takes a lifetime. I tell people all the time, you know, it takes a lifetime to build it, and that long to tear it down. I think that the power of technical education is something that we don't put enough power in. When I went to school, in high school, they had classes that were technical based. Then technical schools began to emerge in my young life, and look where they have come to. I mean, what would we do? Children have to understand that they got to find a path. And when you find a path, you need to try to stick to it. But the great thing about America is if that path isn't working for you, you can go back to school. You can try a new path. Just because you failed at being one tech doesn't mean you can't try a different tech. I think we're all looking for our way. It just so happens that I chose and stuck with my career. The biggest instructor that I have always cherished is an instructor that realized I could not see. And that was huge for me, and that was an earth-making change of my life, to think I was 9 years old when they realized I could not see. And so I had lost 9 years of a foundation that I had to try to rebuild. And you work at that every day, and you work at that every day for the rest of your life. And you can't change that. I want to thank you for this honor, and there's no place like home.